For years, my family told me, there's no space for you every holiday. Yet they always carved out a spot for my sister and her crew. I stayed quiet, swallowing the hurt. But this year, I bought a house in Florida, and suddenly they announced, "We're ready to visit." My response left them stunned. Hey, Reddit, I used to believe silence was power. That holding my tongue around family was the grown-up choice. But there's a moment when silence stops feeling like strength and starts feeling like being erased. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every backyard summer cookout, they'd say, "No room for you." Like I was an afterthought, a guest who didn't quite fit the family picture. I'd drive from Atlanta to Tennessee, presents stacked in the trunk, homemade dishes carefully placed on the passenger seat. But when I arrived, their smiles would dim just a touch. My sister, Karen, would already be settled in, her 3 kids turning the house upside down, her husband lounging with a drink by midday. Somehow there was always a place for them. For me, a lumpy sofa, an air mattress, one year, the shed. Eventually, they stopped pretending. "Sorry, love, it's just too full with Karen's family." It wasn't just where I slept. It was how my voice was drowned out at meals, how my job in editing was never as less than Karen's picture-perfect homemaker life. They called her husband by name, but my partners? Always that guy or what's his name? One Thanksgiving, I ended up in a cheap motel. I watched holiday parades on a grainy TV, eating stale chips from a vending machine. I called Mom to wish her well. No answer. I could have lashed out then, but I didn't. Silence, right? Then came Dad's 70th birthday last June, a big family gathering. I wasn't invited, but showed up anyway, hoping for warmth. Instead, I got Karen murmuring to Mom in the corner and a stiff grin from Dad that didn't reach his eyes. "We didn't know you were coming," he said. I left before dessert. No tears on the drive back, just loud music and a promise to myself that I didn't need them. But deep down, something broke. The next day, I started browsing homes online. Not just any homes, spacious ones in Florida with bright kitchens, pools, and extra bedrooms. Places where I could host my own holidays, create my own memories. It felt spiteful at first, like I was proving a point. And honestly, I was. By December, I stood in the entryway of my new home near Naples, a glass of sparkling wine in hand, smiling wide. This wasn't just a house. It was a statement. Christmas passed. I didn't reach out, and neither did they. In February, I shared a few photos online. My pool, the swaying palms, the sleek double oven. Just a short caption, "New home, new life, new peace." Within hours, Karen commented, "Gorgeous, Florida, wow." 2 days later, Mom called. "Your sister showed me your house. It's incredible, dear. Are you hosting for Easter?" I stayed quiet at first, and I could sense her unease. "Your dad and I were thinking of a little getaway. It's been so chilly here, and Karen's kids are on spring break." There it was. They'd packed their bags. Suddenly, I was worth their time. Useful. I didn't reply immediately. I told her I'd consider it. That night, I sat on my patio, a glass of Merlot in hand, the warm Florida air brushing my skin. I thought about every motel stay, every unanswered call, every time I forced a smile while they raved about Karen's casseroles like they were divine. This time, I wouldn't stay silent. The next morning, I called Mom back. "I'm glad you reached out," I said, "but I'm doing things differently this year." "Differently how?" she asked, her voice tightening. "I'm traveling, solo. No visitors, no family, just me, finding some calm." Silence. Then, "Oh, I thought, with all that space—" "Funny," I cut in, "because for years there was no space for me, yet no one cared. I was always the afterthought, the one without kids, the one left out of family toasts. You didn't see it or you didn't care, but I felt it. Every time. Now that I have something you want, a house, a sunny escape, you suddenly notice me?" "That's not fair," she whispered. "Neither was spending Thanksgiving in a budget motel," I said. She hung up. I didn't feel victorious or cruel. I felt free. I stopped posting online. This silence wasn't weakness, it was strength. Easter came. I grilled fish by the pool and read novels. No chaos, no pretending, no being less. But they didn't stop. Last week, Karen called, her tone light. "Hey, the kids are on summer break soon. They'd love to visit their aunt. Can we swing by for a bit?" Swing by. Like my home was a pit stop. She sent a photo of her kids in swim gear, pool floaties on, grinning like they were already here. It wasn't about the kids. It was about me, about being sidelined, ignored, treated like a side dish no one wanted. I remembered one Christmas when I offered to bring dessert and Mom said, "No need. Karen's got it covered." They never wanted my dessert. They never wanted me. And now they wanted my pool, to swing by. I opened my phone and typed the message I'd held back for years. "Hey, thanks for reaching out, but I need to be clear. For years, I was told there was no place for me. Not just in your homes, but in your hearts. I stayed quiet, thinking it was strength. But silence was just your convenience. You got used to me bending, compromising, accepting the brush-offs with a smile. Not anymore. This house is my sanctuary, and it's not open to those who only care when the sun's out and the beach is near. I'm not angry. I'm not resentful. I'm just done. Have a great summer. I will too." I sent it. In that moment, I reclaimed something I hadn't known I'd lost. My value. No fireworks, no drama, just a quiet shift. The girl who drove hours to be turned away finally had her say. I turned off my phone, and I lived. By morning, there were 15 missed calls and texts. Mom sent 3 in a row. "This isn't you. You're overreacting. You're breaking our hearts." Karen's husband, who once said I should be thankful for scraps of their attention, texted, "Nice move, using your house to play power games. Where's your family loyalty?" Loyalty? Where was it when I spent Christmas alone in a motel? When I sent gifts to their kids and got no thanks? When I stood in their kitchen for Dad's 70th holding a gift, while they looked at me like an intruder? It was never loyalty. It was convenience. Now that I had something they wanted, they were desperate to pull me back into their frame. I didn't reply. I walked through my neighborhood, the air thick with heat and flowers. Neighbors waved like I was part of something, and I was. Here, I belonged. Weeks later, a letter arrived from Mom, handwritten, like we were in the 90s. "My dearest," it began. Not my name. 3 pages of nostalgia and guilt. She wrote about how families grow apart, how life got hectic, how they thought I was fine because I seemed so resilient. She mentioned our old matching holiday outfits, the time I sprained my wrist and Karen sobbed more than me. The message was clear. "You're not really upset. You're just emotional. Come back. Be the good daughter." At the end, she wrote, "We just want things to be like before." I folded the letter and looked out my window. Like before? When I was 12 and left at a neighbor's for Christmas because Karen's baby needed my room? When I was 23 and brought a boyfriend to Thanksgiving, only for Dad to call him that guy all weekend? When I was 35 and got a big promotion and no one even sent a text? No thanks. I didn't answer. But I didn't toss the letter. I tucked it away, not for nostalgia, but as a reminder of what I'd left behind. Summer arrived and I hosted my own gathering. Not family, friends, people who valued me. My neighbor Lila brought homemade salsa. A guy from my book club played guitar until dark. We drank, laughed, and told wild stories about the stars. Lila said, "You've created something special here." And I knew she meant more than the house. By fall, Karen's texts softened. No more anger, just sweetness. "The kids miss you. Want a video chat? Then, Thanksgiving plans?" We'd love to visit. A smiley emoji, like that erased the past. I didn't text back. I mailed a postcard, a photo of my front door where a friend's gift hung, a sign reading, "This home welcomes love, not obligation." No note. Just that. Thanksgiving came. I cooked for 4, a couple from my writing group, and a woman from the park with her shy terrier and a bottle of rosé. We laughed, shared stories, and watched silly holiday films late into the night. It was the best Thanksgiving I'd ever had. No interruptions, no eye rolls, no, "You're too sensitive." I wasn't the outsider anymore. I had my own table. Christmas passed, then New Year's. More texts from Mom, more guilt, more, "We miss you," but never an apology, never recognition, just efforts to pull me back into the role I'd played, the quiet daughter who asked for nothing and got less. I didn't reply. This silence wasn't hollow. It was rich with my life, my choices, my peace. For the first time, I had everything. There is space. Space for happiness. Space for calm. Space for me. Thank you for watching Story. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more real-life stories.